Hi Patrik, thank you very much for joining me today to my Nomadic Soulcast. I'm happy to having you here.
Thank you. Nice to be here with you, Laja.
So Patrik, could you tell me something about you? Where did you grow up and how was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in Christchurch, New Zealand, and we grew up on the Port Hill, so there was a lovely mix of semi-country and close to the city. So it was a great place to grow up in Christchurch.
Hmm. And I know about you that you traveled a lot when you were younger. What made you want to explore the world?
Oh, that's a good question. So I left school and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do for a career. And I'd been working in horticulture and hospitality, doing some chefing. And then I had a little bit of money put aside, and I came to the decision that doing some foreign travel would be a great idea. So at 20 years old, I bought a one-way ticket to Europe via Southeast Asia, which is the beginning of all my travels.
How long did you spend in Asia and how was it?
Yeah, so arriving in Bangkok when I was 20 was um, quite an experience. The tropical heat and the busyness, and I really grew to love Bangkok, and I've been back many times since. And Thailand was a great place to start. It's so hospitable, warm, and friendly. And so after Thailand, I headed south to Malaysia and Indonesia, where I really found a great love for Sumatra, especially in West Sumatra with the Minangkabau people, where I spend quite a lot of time. Um, I say going a little bit bush off the beaten track and staying with a lot of the locals, and we forged a long-standing friendship. And yeah, it was fantastic.
Have you faced some cultural differences? Was something uh, like shockable for you or like big cultural differences?
Um, of course, Southeast Asia is quite different culturally, and especially Sumatra and Indonesia because it's Muslim. But I would say that the hospitality was almost overwhelming. Like when I got to Sumatra, it was people didn't um, want so much your money, but they wanted to be your friend. Their houses were open and they fed you and they looked after you and they took you around and showed you all the amazing sights. And um, being very much into cooking cuisine, it was a great way to spend time with them and go into their gardens and their kitchens and watch how they cooked and cook with them. And oh, it was fantastic.
So did you work as a chef also in Asia?
No, in Asia, Um, I did some voluntary teaching of English. I didn't. It wasn't until many years later that I helped open a wine bar in China with a friend of mine. But um, mostly it was just hanging out and um, yeah, playing volleyball with the locals, football with the police or the army, or yeah, quite some random things which you wouldn't expect, but they're all great memories I cherish today.
So what made you to move to Europe, specifically to Netherlands?
Yeah, so my dad was German and my mum was South African, so they immigrated to New Zealand. So I already had travel and all multicultural things in my blood and multilingual, and so when I was 20, I had a one-way ticket to Europe, and I went over to Europe specifically with the idea to continue cooking over there, and I ended up really loving Amsterdam. It's such a beautiful city with all the canals and the open culture. And yeah, I worked in a lot of different restaurants and cafes and hotels. I did catering, did weddings, and um, Yeah, I really have fond memories of the Netherlands.
Hmm. How was, or you spent 10 years working like a chef in Amsterdam. How did that time shape you?
Well, career-wise, it was great because you have such a multicultural mix in Europe and specifically in Amsterdam. So um, I ended up working for years with Italians in a five-star hotel, which is great to work with Italians, cooking Italian. And I'd say more of the basis over there is like European and French cooking. And yeah, you get the more chance to do um, um, high end cooking, working with great ingredients. I did some fantastic catering and weddings, and yeah, so it was a great career thing for sure.
Hmm. Did you ever feel like the place, or, oh, sorry, I will cut it. Did you ever feel like the pace or pressure of that life was too much? And if so, how did you deal with it?
That is a great question. Being a chef anywhere in the world, you're under a lot of pressure and stress. You're working a lot of nights and weekends, and you end up going out after work with your colleagues, doing a lot of partying and drinking. And at that age in my life, it was a yeah, a great way to meet people and socialize. But for sure, probably the lifestyle had some aspects which weren't the most healthy.
Hmm. And what did that life in the kitchen teach you about yourself and about life?
Yeah, that's a good question. Being a chef, you have to have stamina, and you have to have grit, and you have to be able to execute things under pressure and work as a team together to produce amazing food consistently. So um, yeah, it was really really good to work with some of the people there, and you get some good friendship and bonds going, and um, but definitely it's something you want to do for your younger years and not for your whole life.
How do chefs deal with stress?
Yeah, so of course the easiest option is drink and drugs, party, um, rinse and repeat. But one thing I learnt was in your downtime, you have to do something healthy for yourself. Get enough sleep, eat well, lots of swimming. Sorry, I have to cut that.
Yeah, I will got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What made you leave to Amsterdam and start your own business with chili sauce in New Zealand?
So after chefing for almost close to 30 years, although I love cooking and the hospo industry, there comes a point when you you want to do something with your life. You have to reinvent yourself because the hours and the stress is it's not conducive to a family life or a good life work balance. So um, then I decided after being in Europe for quite a time that I wanted to come back to New Zealand and with the idea of not continuing as a chef, but I wanted to go into business for myself, and I decided to do fermented hot sauces.
Is your sauces business just about a product, or is it also about lifestyle and personal transformation?
Yeah, that's a nice question. I've always had green fingers, and I've always loved horticulture, and I really hope to combine my many years of cooking, and I also have a passion for fermenting things, so and a passion for hot things, hot spicy things. So um, doing a hot fermented sauce where I could grow my own chilies was the thing I struck on.
Oh, what do you hope for with your business?
Yes, what I really would love to be is fully self-employed and spending the time developing better and better sources over the years, and maybe also going into other horticultural ventures I haven't yet fully explored. Um, that's the direction I want to be self-employed or semi-self-employed. That independence and achieving something like that is something I'm really set on.
If you will go back to the Amsterdam, what's the biggest difference between life in Amsterdam and your life now in Nelson?
Um, People in Europe are socially a lot more organized. Like us Kiwis were like, we don't plan so much ahead, and we call our mates or our family, and we just rock up. You know, we rock up with a six pack or a bowl of wine, and you know we have barbecues and dinners at people's house. Where I think Dutch people are much more likely to plan things well in ahead, and and I think eat out a lot more because that's just something they do there more.
So, what would you recommend to someone who is afraid to travel, but wants to travel?
Yeah, for me, of course, when I started traveling, I was really young. I was 20, and I'd never been traveling on my own, and there was definitely some nerves and and so I think like it's like when you're on the edge of a cliff and you're looking down at the ocean and you want to do that big dive. Well, you just have to do it. You just have to jump. And I think for me personally, going traveling was an amazing thing. I was like, traveling was made me who I was today, and it really, I would say that traveling gave me a much more positive, deeper appreciation of how good humanity is and how kind and generous and warm people's hospitality is, and pretty much everywhere you go in the world.
Hmm. What does freedom mean to you these days?
So what?
What does freedom mean
Freedom.
to you?
Um, Freedom for me, that's a big thing. Freedom is um, maybe being free of expectations and self-imposed expectations. I think um, to be truly free means to overcome your ego and all your expectations and biases and prejudices and things. So I think freedom is something that you exercise on a daily basis mentally.
Hmm. If you could speak to your younger 20 years old self, what would you say?
Uh, I'd say be less afraid of the unknown, be less afraid of what you think people are thinking about you, and embrace yourself, love yourself, and be happy and at home in your own mind, your own body.
What helps you stay grounded when things feel uncertain?
Yeah, for me personally, one thing that's always grounded me is to just go swimming. Swimming in the sea, swimming pool, go there, be active, breathe, do that meditative breathing, and feel your body, and forget about all the clutter and things that occupy your mind that distract you from the meaningful and the positive in your life.
How important is for you what other people are thinking about you?
I don't think I've ever been someone that's been that concerned about what other people think of me. Although there's always an element of that. Um, I think the older I get, the less I worry about what people maybe potentially thinking about me. I think it's more important what you think about yourself and how you value yourself, and to keep it real and be humble. And yeah.
Do you have a quote, verse, or phrase that speaks to your heart?
Um, Probably many, but none that come to mind.
Mhm. What do you think about how people communicate nowadays with modern technologies?
Yeah, I think we've got to communicate more face to face, or even a phone call. Less text, less testing. Um, yeah, just rock up and meet people, be with people, and I think all the distractions from our phones and modern social media is pretty antisocial.
Hmm. Yeah, so let's try this or that quick fire round.
Sorry,
Let's try this or that quick fire round questions.
his
So,
or
this or that?
this or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Saying everything or letting silence speak?
Let silence speak.
Amsterdam or Nelson?
Oh, Nelson.
Solo road trip or traveling with friends?
Definitely solo.
Comfort or growth?
Growth.
Heart or mind?
Heart.
Knowing where are you going or enjoying not knowing?
Enjoying not knowing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrik, for your time. Thank you.
Great. It was a lovely interview. Thank you so much, Large. It was my pleasure.